Coomes here with this weather update. A severe thunderstorm is now moving into the New Buffalo and Michigan City area. I see people rushing in out of the lakeshore because there's a storm moving in quickly with strong, damaging wind. You can see the sand picking up right now. People need to get inside, away from windows. If you're in the New Buffalo area in Michigan City right now, wind up to 70 miles per hour. I'm showing you the picture as this comes on shore. This is giving you the kind of the real time. I'll go back and forth between the radar picture and what we're seeing now and what we'll be seeing. This is the warned area. You can see Michigan City and New Buffalo right there. We'll zoom in here in a second, but I just want to go back as we're still kind of focusing on what is happening right now here at 9 o'clock. Severe thunderstorm warning issued for portions of LaPorte and Berrien County. This is the storm that's now coming on shore. Great perspective right now from the New Buffalo camera. What a light show as this storm moves towards us. We're breaking into programming because this is warned for wind up to 70 miles per hour. This is the real deal. We have a juiced atmosphere from all the heat today, and storms have erupted across the area. Here is our current situation. This is the warned area. It does not include South Bend. It does include New Carlisle and Rolling Prairie. And this is a storm that's likely to strengthen as it comes on shore into our muggy environment. Here is a loop of the past hour moving across Lake Michigan, and we're going to be with you as this moves through. Right now, a warning currently for the city of LaPorte, Michigan City, Michiana Shores, New Buffalo, all the way up to the Bridgman area and New Carlisle. Stand by for South Bend, Mishawaka, Elkhart. That could be coming close to 10 o'clock tonight. Here is the current situation. This is the warned area. You can see Michigan City is included up towards New Buffalo, Union Pier, up close to the Bridgman area. Buchanan and Three Oaks also included. The New Carlisle area down towards LaPorte. Severe thunderstorm warning has been issued. This is a serious situation. This is warned for wind up to 70 miles per hour. And this is what we're watching. The strongest wind right now likely working its way into the Michigan City area and right offshore there near New Buffalo, where we see this very bright blue coming in here. That is strong, damaging wind upwards of 70 miles per hour, currently hitting Michigan City and New Buffalo. Michigan City, New Buffalo towards LaPorte. This is a dangerous situation. Inside, away from windows now. This is going to pack a big punch, at least with this specific core as it comes on shore. And we'll bear watching as if this kind of machine kind of starts breaking the heat and the cold air comes rushing out of these storms, you can get a very intense gust front. So this is the current situation right now. The threat is labeled as considerable. This is for threats up to wind speeds of 70 miles per hour. This is including Michigan City, LaPorte, New Carlisle, and New Buffalo. So again, get inside, away from windows. Again, we want you to be in your safe location now. Not saying that you need to get to your basement at this point, but you need to be inside, away from windows. That is the messaging we're giving you right now. This is the warned area. This is the first warning of what could be many warnings if this continues to replicate and move from the northwest towards the south and east. This could eventually move into the South Bend area. So this is the current warning setup we see right now. I'll cycle back through, but at this point, we'll see what information starts to come in as we go through this evening, and we're going to keep watching things very closely. That is the latest live look that we are currently seeing from the New Buffalo camera. It might freeze up. It may also lose power, but you can see a lot of lightning right there. That is coming on shore. I'm also over here kind of monitoring some chats fairly closely right now, seeing what information comes in from the National Weather Service. Currently, nothing new at this time, and this is really going to be a relay of what reports we get in the now term. So again, very interested in what you're seeing in your area, but this is the very beginning of something that could be getting stronger as we go through it. I've already sent out one push alert for us as we go on air this evening for everyone to be ready. Again, be ready. These storms are coming on shore. This is right now beating the New Buffalo shoreline. This is very intense. The wall of water moving in here. You can really kind of tell that the rain is moving in through here. So again, very intense. If we can take that second camera now, this is the inline shore camera. So you can see also this is the inner harbor giving you a perspective here. This is shaking the camera. So this is a very strong time hitting New Buffalo, hitting Michigan City, Estimated wind speed up to 70 miles per hour. And again, given some of the shaking that we're seeing, now the lights are still on in New Buffalo, so that's a bit of a clue. But this is a very intense storm. And the flashes that you're seeing here, it's not the camera freaking out. That is lightning strikes. This is all indication of a very strong thunderstorm. We're trying to give you as much forewarning and pre-warning and first warning that you're getting right now of what is going on. This is the current radar picture. This is our warned area right now. This storm is just now here at 9:09 coming onshore, Michigan City, New Buffalo, moving towards LaPorte, Three Oaks, Rolling Prairie, and Michigan City. This is an intense line of thunderstorms as it continues to move through. This is the latest loop of that data as you see an explosion of lightning strikes over Lake Michigan. This is our warned area right now. This is what I am most concerned with anywhere within this warned area, because out in front of this, we're already seeing this. This is what we call the gust front. So the wind is not at the storm, it's a few miles ahead of the storm. So what I'll show you right now is we'll show you kind of with the distance. It's not far, but the actual wind gust is about 5 to 10 miles ahead of the storm, blowing inland. So the wind is going to hit before the storm does, and it could be a very strong wind gust that moves through. Let's go back to that New Buffalo camera again right now. As we see, again, it's shaking. We see the horizontal rain. We see a lot of wind. This is what we're giving you the first warning for right now. A dangerous thunderstorm is currently hitting Michigan City and New Buffalo. We're hot, we're humid, and it's hitting now, and this thing could keep going. I'm giving you a first warning. If you're in LaPorte, if you're in Rolling Prairie, if you're in New Carlisle, if you're in the Three Oaks area, this is coming your way. This is the leading edge, and you can see right in here, right where that bright blue is on the radar. This is looking at the velocity on the radar, so the estimate wind speed. This is the most intense area that we're seeing right now. And I'll give you a little info inside that dot. We'll see if this shows up here if I place it right. Estimating wind speeds up to 90 miles per hour. Now that is at a higher altitude. The distance from the radar, not saying that the wind is up to that much, but this is a serious confidence that there is very strong wind between Michigan City and New Buffalo, and it's pushing towards LaPorte. It's pushing along the US 20 interchange and towards Rolling Prairie and New Carlisle. Severe thunderstorm happening right now. This is a serious situation. You need to be inside, away from windows. This is dangerous. This can knock over trees. This can cause more than power outages right now. Can we go back to that New Buffalo camera? You have that up right now. I want you to pick that back up once we have the opportunity there. But severe thunderstorm warning, wind up to 70 miles per hour, and the pictures we're seeing right now seem to be a verification of that. This is the current picture. I'm going to step out of the way. This is our New Buffalo camera. Look at the wind whipping there. I just want to keep this up for a few minutes. If you're just now joining us, severe thunderstorm warning for wind up to 70 miles per hour. This is a serious and dangerous threat, especially right along the lake shore. This is, again, very serious and very dangerous. This can knock out power. This can knock over trees. And that is a dangerous threat to you and your family. This is a serious situation that we continue to track right now in the First Warning Neighborhood Weather Center. We just broke in at the top of the hour, and we are tracking this storm as it moves at roughly about 30 or so miles per hour towards the east-southeast. I'm going to get an updated storm track for you, but I just want you to watch what is happening right now with this storm. This is intense. It's not moving very quickly. It's moving somewhat slow at roughly about 30 or so miles per hour towards Rolling Prairie, towards the South Bend area in that direction. I want you to, again, look at this. Again, this is incredible video because of this perspective here as this comes on shore. Let's go back to the radar picture as this seems to be locking up. I want you to keep an eye on both those cameras in the New Buffalo area that we have. Here is the updated storm track. South Bend at 9:48. So we may be with you for a while if this continues to maintain strength. At least for now, if this warning continues at a wind up to 70 miles per hour and we start to get more reports of damage, we're going to stay with you and be prepared right now. LaPorte knocking on your door, Kingsbury knocking on your door, also Rolling Prairie. Depending on how that main core holds together, Walkerton by 9:55, La Paz by 10:08, Elkhart a ways away by 10:14. But for a lot of our viewing area, it's going to be 9:30, 10 o'clock. I'm giving you as much first warning as I can. The storms are just now coming in off of Lake Michigan, and it is intense. This blue bullseye basically is what we're focused in on, and we'll go in for a closer scan. Is where that strongest wind is right now crossing or about to move into the wishbone, dog bone there of 20 and Indiana 2. So this is now, that gust front is now into Rolling Prairie. If you're in New Carlisle, you've got about 5 minutes before the wind reaches you. Take time away from windows. Get inside now, secure anything, and get close to move into your safe spot, because this is a dangerous situation if we have wind gusts up to 70 miles per hour or more working their way in. Right now, fanning out is encompassing the US 20 corridor all the way up to the state line. Looks like the strongest wind right now is staying just south of Three Oaks, but moving into the Springfield Township area in LaPorte County, Rolling Prairie, New Carlisle, you're next. This is the danger zone with wind estimated, and I'll give you that estimate right now, up to 70 plus miles per hour. In this blue zone, again, the radar is estimating wind speeds in excess of that. So again, this is a very serious situation if we're estimating wind speed at altitude of 80 miles per hour. So that's not at the surface, but it's pretty darn close. And it's too close for comfort, and it gives me confidence that there is strong wind happening now, right now, crossing the toll road corridor. Here's the toll road in blue right here through LaPorte County. Moving across the toll road through Rolling Prairie, New Carlisle, less than 5 minutes. Strong wind is inbound right now. I need you away from windows. If you got trees around your house, I want you in your basement, because I'm worried about trees coming down and limbs coming down on houses. That is the greatest threat that we are seeing right now. But we're seeing, again, this area, we're now seeing a destructive warning. We've now upped this. You need to treat this like this is a tornado warning. We have wind estimates of 80 miles per hour. This is a dangerous situation, period. Happening right now, destructive, dangerous wind is happening in LaPorte County. Wind gusts up to 80 miles per hour happening right now. Dangerous situation. I cannot, again, emphasize this enough. This is why this is now outlined in red. You need to treat this like this was a tornado warning, or is a tornado warning right now. This could easily be expanded. This is a very dangerous situation. We're seeing this image. I want you to go back to that New Buffalo camera, if you can bring that up. So we can see that view. This is the inner harbor area. I just want to step out of the way. This is for real dangerous. Also, you can see here, it looks like maybe some lights might be out in New Buffalo. A lot of lightning happening. This is a very dangerous situation right now. Also, talk to my crews in the back. I know we have 2 reporters in South Bend. I need them on standby. I want them a view of a western horizon, and I need them in a safe location to possibly deal with this storm or deal with the aftermath of this storm. But I need our 2 reporters in South Bend standing by, and also to get someplace safe right now, because this is inbound and this is moving at a fairly good rate of speed. This is not a fast-moving storm right now. I'm going to read the latest update from the National Weather Service. But the hazardous wind gusts up to 80 miles per hour. The actual movement of this storm is not as quick. This moving right now southeast at 40 miles per hour. So I can update our storm track tool and kind of give you a more realistic view of this. One thing now, that this is now moving at 40 miles per hour, this storm is now picking up pace. And so that's going to be my concern as we continue on through this evening, as we continue to watch this fairly closely. As you see the storm now moving and starting to accelerate, as that we now have this storm picking up pace, and it's that leading edge that we're concerned about. And so this is roughly the next hour storm track that we're now focused in on now. And so we're going to watch things fairly closely here. So here is where the storm is, and this is the estimated movement. And again, this is warned to be destructive. Be destructive. That is a dangerous situation right now. You can see the light show, and it appears that we may have power outages currently happening in New Buffalo, and this is an intense storm. Severe thunderstorm warning happening right now. Michigan City, New Buffalo, LaPorte, Rolling Prairie, and now New Carlisle. I want you to come back to the radar picture, and this is our current situation here. New Carlisle by 9:20. It's 9:18. 2 minutes, New Carlisle, for that strong wind to reach you. South Bend timeline is now moved up to 9:40, 9:38 to 9:40. This piece of the storm looks to be maybe fanning out a little bit. We'll see if this gets expanded, but right now this is a dangerous, destructive storm with estimated wind up to 80 miles per hour happening right now. I want you in your safe spot. We are treating this like we would a tornado warning. This is the timeline if this holds together. So move into the North Liberty area by 9:35, South Bend by around 9:40. So I'm trying to give you as much first warning as there is. The leading edge of this wind is just on the front side of this. So we're still seeing some very bright blue. The good news that I see is that we're seeing less of a giant blue ball, and it seems to have weakened a little bit, but still, this is the destructive wind between LaPorte and Michigan City. This is where the strong wind is. It continues as we kind of focus in here, and again, you'll see as we kind of pan around here fairly closely, that wind is just now moving into New Carlisle. It's fanned out. It's running along US 12 as well. So Three Oaks, Galeen, Buchanan. Strong wind by 9:30. It's happening now in Three Oaks. It's about to happen in Galeen. It will soon happen in Buchanan. The strong wind right now is moving into New Carlisle. Not quite to Crumestown yet, but Salem Heights in LaPorte County. So this is along the Indiana 104 corridor. Strong wind currently happening in LaPorte right now. This is a dangerous situation. This warning is for wind up to 80 miles per hour and tagged destructive by the National Weather Service. This is the current situation. This is a dangerous warning happening right now. We're waiting to see what kind of likely expansion of this warning will happen for the rest of St. Joseph County, and I expect that to happen within the next 5 minutes, the rate that this storm is moving in. We're waiting for more storm reports and confirmation, but what we have been seeing coming in off the lakeshore, not getting that picture in right now. If we can switch back to the other New Buffalo camera, let's take a look at that. I'm going to walk off right now. This is City New Buffalo. This is the Inner Harbor camera. This is a dangerous situation ongoing right now. You're looking at, well, near zero visibility. This is what we're warning you for, and this is kind of on the back side of this. This is not the worst of it. The worst of that front has already moved through, but this is a serious situation. I want you to take this seriously. There's not a tornado warning, but there is a severe thunderstorm warning, and we're getting a new update on this warning as well, and I'll get it to you within a few minutes. I'm gonna read you the new update coming down the pipe from this warning. Come out and bring up the radar picture, please. This warning now is for 70 miles per hour, and now this is alerting the rest of St. Joseph County, northern Marshall County, eastern and central Elkhart counties, and portions of Kosciuszko County as well. Wind up to 70 miles per hour. This is from Three Oaks moving towards the Syracuse area, and we're now rating this warned storm for wind up to the wind speed now moving at 55 miles per hour. So this is moving quickly, folks. Crews in the back, tell our crews downtown South Bend to get someplace safe now. This is moving in very quickly. This is a dangerous situation. This is not a storm to mess around with. It's going to hit very quickly and very suddenly. So this is our spot. This is our danger right now. I'm switching over here to this velocity image, and I want to kind of update the storm track based on it, because it's going to give you the most realistic timeline of where that danger zone is. So I'm going to kind of draw this out for this is roughly the next 30 minutes or so. I'll move this box just down to here, because this is kind of where all the action is right now. This is probably the most important thing I can show, at least at this time, as I'll come back here on air. The area in blue is the strong wind that is currently moving towards us. In fact, Might be able to draw in here in just a second, but again, this is what we're watching fairly closely, at least right now. We see this zone right here. That's where we have those wind gusts roughly up to about 70 miles per hour or so. This is the storm track over the next 30 minutes. Putting it into Chino Lakes in St. Joseph County, 9:24. South Bend by 9:31. South Bend, your warning time now is roughly 10 minutes before this wind kicks through here. Looks like the strongest wind is going to go through about Crumestown, North Liberty, and the Walkerton area on towards Bremen by 9:50 and Napanee by 9:53. Strong, destructive wind is happening right now. This is a dangerous situation. This is the path of that strong wind. It's going to track across St. Joseph County, pretty much central St. Joseph County from about South Bend south. The greater threat right now will be Fish Lake, North Liberty, Crumestown, really the areas west of South Bend. So we still have the Chino Lakes area still being very serious happening right now. I'm getting reports that the New Buffalo cameras are down, likely has lost power. That's not surprising. I've got alerts that the South Bend Cubs are currently playing a game right now. If you know people there, text them. A dangerous storm is on the way. People need to start taking shelter. That is a real serious situation happening right now. We currently have, again, this bullseye right here. That area of dark blue is a very significant indicator of strong destructive wind. I need to give a little update to my director in the back. If you could do an AM/BAM for me. I've lost some control here at the wall. I just want to make sure that we still have everything that's happening currently. Right now, I don't have the exact control that I want. If you can reset a setting here as far as the director is concerned. But as far as that, we're still on air here. And again, this is the most destructive area that we continue to watch fairly closely. This is the bullseye that's happening at least right now. So watching things fairly closely, at least right now, you can see the expansion of the warnings now for wind up to 70 miles per hour. Currently 70 miles per hour is that warned storm. And you can kind of see that follow the path. If you're anywhere in this highlighted area, from South Bend to Plymouth to almost Warsaw, Syracuse, and Goshen, if you are highlighted in this area, and this is a rather large area that you need to be alert about because it is coming. The storm is coming our way. We're watching things very closely at this time as we see this storm front currently moving in. Again, this is not anything to mess around with. This is a dangerous situation. We saw the wind fairly strong. And again, the ETA is around 9:30. If we can have our crews in a car, set up live shots, we can be ready as this is going to move through here quite quickly. So this is a dangerous situation right now. Keep watching everything fairly closely as this storm moves in. Severe thunderstorm warning. Severe thunderstorm warning currently in effect for all of St. Joseph County now. Updated warning for eastern and central Elkhart County, for the northeast corner of Kosciuszko County and northern Marshall County. A lot of lightning strikes. This storm has strengthened and exploded. It is running pretty much along the boundary that we had with those storms that erupted a few hours ago. This is a much stronger and more dangerous situation. This is what we're watching fairly closely right now. Currently, the storm is moving into New Carlisle. That wind is just ahead of the front by about 5 miles. So the timeline is for the South Bend area around 9:38 to 9:40 right now. Lightning has now already been sighted in our area in South Bend, Mishawaka, but this storm is going to roll through quite quickly, and we're watching things very closely. We're going to move this timeline box around just a little bit so we can get a better perspective. But again, if you're anywhere in this blue highlighted area, you need to take precaution. I'm trying to give you as much forewarning, as much first warning as possible as this is about to move into the North Liberty area. I'll be able to update this storm track as we'll kind of just move it forward here. That leading wind gust is right there. That's where the leading gust is. It's currently just ahead of the line of storm. So this is the current situation. South Bend, 9:33 between South Bend and North Liberty, Walkerton. This is where that danger zone is. It's a little bit less on the north side, more and likely stronger on the south side of this storm right through here. This does appear to be fanning out a little bit. I'm optimistic about maybe it's going to start to weaken some. But looking at the radar picture ever so closely, again, this is still a very serious situation right in here. As you can see, this blue bullseye, that is still a very serious situation right here in this area. As I'll highlight that, and again, you'll see wind gusts estimated for wind up to 80 or 90 miles per hour. That doesn't mean that's actually happening at the surface, but it gives us good confidence that wind up to 70 miles per hour is a real possibility. And I want to go in for a closer scan here because we can really kind of see what is in the path here as this is now moving in out of LaPorte County and into St. Joseph County. So this is very close to Fish Lake. The wind is currently hitting New Carlisle into the North Liberty area. So we'll have to watch this very closely. But again, this is the danger zone right now, anywhere in this area of blue. So this is right around the dog bone of US 20 and Indiana 2. New Carlisle, moving on towards the Leidick area within the next 5 minutes, and likely into South Bend or coming close to South Bend and the south side of South Bend, especially the southwest side. I'm thinking the Belleville area out by the ethanol plant. That is a very exposed area on the southwest side of town. North Liberty, anywhere close to Potato Creek State Park. If you know people camping right now in Potato Creek State Park, that is a dangerous situation to be in a camper and not in a sustained shelter. If you know anyone there, they need to be in a safe spot now, in a more secure structure. All signs point toward a destructive storm that's currently on the way right now. Again, we see this bullseye in blue indicating wind speed with an estimated wind speed up to or in excess of 70 miles per hour. This could be a very serious situation that we continue to monitor very closely right now. If you're just now joining us here at 9:30, we've been on air for about roughly the past 30 minutes, giving you a first warning of a strong destructive storm that is currently moving into our area and that we're watching fairly closely right now. So this is again, the most dangerous part of the storm that we continue to watch, at least right now, and watching this very closely at this moment. So we can see currently we have this warned area, strong wind moving in from the New Carlisle area towards North Liberty. This is the strong danger zone that we're watching fairly closely and that we are most concerned with at this moment. So this is, again, the most dangerous part of the storm that we're currently watching fairly closely, at least at this point, as we continue to watch things very closely at this time. Watching things as they continue to move in. I need Director to take Max 2. If you can take Weather 2 right now, I need to take an update if possible. If you can take Weather 2 graphics full, that would be helpful for me. But this is the current situation that we're seeing right now. That we see with that area in blue. That is the strongest area of wind that is now crossing into St. Joseph County. Happening right now, this is crossing into St. Joseph County. That is the current wind speed, wind estimated up to 70 or so miles per hour, and that is currently happening at this time. You see that area in blue right there. So if you're in New Carlisle, if you're in North Liberty, if you're just west of South Bend, the storm is moving in now. If you're in South Bend watching me right now, inside, away from windows at this time. You can do that switch over to Wix 2. I'll take an update on Wix 1. Here's what we're watching right now. This highlighted area that is currently happening right now, the area in orange, now includes all of St. Joseph County. All of St. Joseph County, northern Marshall County, eastern and central Elkhart County, and northern Kosciuszko County. So we continue to watch this fairly closely as that is the warned area. The area in pink is the severe thunderstorm watch. So here we are at 9:32. The warning and the impending danger is currently happening in St. Joseph County, but we're giving an extended warning for northern Marshall County, including Plymouth and Bremen, Goshen, Napanee, and Syracuse. All these spots we're watching fairly closely on the radar picture. Just got an update. Over 2,000 people, almost 3,000 people are currently without power in Berrien County. So again, this is now validating what is currently happening right now with this storm. So this is, again, a validation that we have a destructive storm. It is knocking out power, and there could be more warnings as this moves through. Come back to me at the wall. We can come back on Max 1. This is the current situation right now. We have a lot of lightning, and this is the leading edge of this storm. about to move into South Bend. Make sure our crews are currently ready in South Bend. Does anybody have a live shot up? If they're safe in a good location, we just need a view of the west. Driving this bus, if we get that, let me know. We'll try and take that as the pictures come in. But you can see this is a storm that it has fanned out a little bit. That gives me some optimism that it might be weakening as it came onshore with a big punch of wind up to 80 miles per hour. Wind is still likely strong with this storm. The strongest portion between North Liberty and South Bend, that would be the Coomestown area. If you're anywhere near Coomestown, that would be the spot I want you to definitely, again, take your precautionary measures as we'll go in for a closer scan here as we watch things fairly closely. So it looks like the strongest wind is going to stay just to the south of South Bend. This also happens to be lined up better with the radar, so I don't want you to underestimate the wind that's about to hit South Bend right now. In fact, the leading edge of that is happening and moving inside the bypass. So this is out near the airport currently. The strongest boundary, you can kind of see the outflow of this wind now just crossing the bypass. There's 31 to 20 right through here. That wind gust is now crossing that and moving into the airport. So we're going to watch that very closely as the wind is likely to pick up. We see the core, or likely the strongest core of this wind, moving into Coomestown, North Liberty. Inside, away from windows right now. I want you to treat this like you would a tornado warning. This is a dangerous situation. Wind of 70 and 80 miles per hour. The reason we're on air right now is because there's a danger. I don't care what the warning type is. There's a danger, period, and it's destructive. We have wind gusts up to 70 or 80 miles per hour at these current warnings. Considerable to destructive is the warning type right now. As we see, again, this is the warned area right now that we're currently seeing, and we're keeping an eye on the storms as they roll in. Let's take a live shot right now from Notre Dame. Now, this is looking opposite to the storms, but it's giving you an idea of the light show that is impending right now. If we can take that shot, this is the show. This is looking away from the storms as they come inbound, but we're already kind of seeing the reflectiveness of the storms as they currently move through the area. I'm over here going to check for more information coming in from the National Weather Service. Several trees down across northern LaPorte County. Long Beach was the hardest hit area. So that's right along the lakeshore, Michigan City to the New Buffalo area. That is definitely a strong verification that we're seeing right now that I would confirm with that. It looks like the strongest wind is moving into North Liberty. North Liberty, get to your safe spot now. This is a dangerous situation. Come back to the radar picture as I'm pointing out here. This is a very distinct boundary of that is a strong wind that is currently moving in. And we'll take this off the map and you can see the gust front. So I'm going to go in for closer, and this is kind of giving us an idea of what's happening inside the storm, or I should say ahead of the storm right now, of where the most destructive part of the storm is right now. I'm using the distance tool because this is where we think, okay, this is where the lightning, this is where the rain is. But this very faint feature here is actually the wind coming out of the storm. And so what we call the gust front is about 5 to 10 miles out ahead of this. So it's not where the orange and red is, it's actually a line just in front of it. And that line has just now moved through North Liberty. So we're talking about Potato Creek State Park on towards Lakeville, south side of South Bend, Gulliver Park, La Paz, Walkerton. Strong wind is about to happen now that can knock out power and be dangerous. I'm not getting a lot of information fed back to me as far as damage reports. That's probably going to be delayed. But we know there are damage reports in the Long Beach area. That's back into LaPorte County where the storm first hit. So we're giving you, again, updates that are probably about 30 minutes late because it takes time to get that information in, because when the storm is happening, I'm not worried about reports from you. I'm worried about you being safe inside, away from windows. This is that destructive path right now, this highlighted blue area, and I'll do an update on that as we go in for a closer scan here and an updated timeline. Again, this continues to race quickly through the area. The wind speed has picked up and the cell itself has picked up speed. This is just over an hour storm track here. As we see, moving from the northwest towards the southeast, would move into the Wyatt area by 10:12. Wyatt area by 10:12. So again, these warnings continue. The warning for St. Joseph County continuing at least as we continue on through looking at the update here from 9:21 p.m. So this will continue until 10 p.m. For St. Joseph County as this continues to roll through, and we might see a further expansion of this warning as well. But if you're anywhere in this highlighted blue area here, I want you to treat this like you would a tornado warning. Inside, away from windows, you get to your safe spot. If you're in La Paz, if you're in Wyatt, if you're in Bremen, if you're South Bend, all the way through the Potato Creek State Park and Lakeville right now, this is a serious and dangerous situation. So Bremen 10:31 or by 10:31 p.m., Wakarusa by 10:38. Going to see the update on that timeline. Make sure that my timelines are correct because the speed has changed with this storm multiple times. Updating that's for 55 miles per hour. So this is the latest update. That seemed a little bit slow to me. So again, this is the next 30 minutes or so. This is that updated timeline. So this makes it to Bremen by 9:56. Before 10 o'clock, this will move into the Bremen area. So La Paz, Wyatt, I'm giving you about 5 or 10 minutes before the worst of the wind makes it there. This highlighted area in blue currently crossing the LaPorte St. Joseph County line, and just ahead of that, that is the gust front. These are the current warnings. Again, these warnings going until roughly about 10 o'clock. This warned area right here expands all the way into Elkhart County. So through 10 o'clock, and by 10 o'clock, it's going to reach close to the Goshen area, Syracuse, and even Napanee and Leesburg. Here is the warning right now. This is the leading edge, currently just now moving into the greater South Bend area, at least on the west side of South Bend, and that gust front is moving through. If we get any reports from our field crews, I'm curious how this wind gust, what reports we start getting over the next 5 or 10 minutes or so. The reason that we're on air is because we have damage reports and we had high confidence in wind gusts up to 70 miles per hour. We treat that as we would a tornado warning. This storm appears to be fanning out a little bit, and I'm optimistic that it is weakening some as we head towards 10 o'clock tonight. But this is still being treated as a very dangerous situation, and this is the rough timeline as it continues to move through here towards the south and east at 55 miles per hour. The leading edge of this storm, now you can see the gust front right through here. South Bend towards Lakeville is currently crossing 31. So South Bend, south side of South Bend towards Lakeville and Plymouth. This is where the strongest wind gust is coming out of this storm as it moves towards the southeast up to 55 miles per hour currently. This is the area of strong wind that I'm most focused in on, and you can see that here. This is where we're seeing, again, those strong wind gusts. And as we go in for a closer scan, currently that strong wind is about to cross the 31 corridor. So Lakeville, Gulliver Park, here's the Wyatt area in Bremen. This strong wind now moving into North Liberty. We just got a new radar update there, and you can see some of the dark blue is beginning to diminish. This is optimistic, showing that the worst of the wind is likely weakening. So if I give you an estimate of wind gusts in this area, we have wind gusts estimating up to about 60 miles per hour. Something else that's happening here is that we're getting closer to the radar. So our sampling, our tools we use to look at the storm are also improving because we're getting a closer, more detailed radar scan. But you can see very still close to the North Liberty area, we still have an area where we're likely seeing some very strong wind gusts. We'll see if I can get a amalgamated report there. That's not going to happen, so I'll do a point report right through there. So we're still seeing somewhere in here estimates of wind gusts up to 60 to 70 miles per hour in this area. So this is a serious situation. I've not heard the wind whip up here as these storms are currently moving through, but we still have a considerable threat for this storm. This continues to go up to about 70 miles per hour. See what kind of wind gusts we now have moving in. We had wind gust report of 43 recently in the LaPorte area. I don't see a new report yet from the South Bend Airport, but that would be something to watch fairly closely as well as this storm front now moves through. Resetting the picture, 9:42. Storms are currently moving into western St. Joseph County. The severe thunderstorm warning, this severe thunderstorm warning, and I'll highlight this, goes until 10 o'clock. This is the warning that we are most concerned about. This is the first warning of the storms that are moving through. The threat is until 10 p.m. Radar indicated, but we have reports of damage at least so far back into LaPorte County. The threat is considerable with wind speed up to 70 miles per hour. That encompasses all of St. Joseph County, northern Marshall County, eastern and central Elkhart counties, and northwestern Kosciuszko County currently. That is the current picture that we're seeing right now. This is what that radar image looks like. We still have a large number of lightning strikes, especially along the state line up into portions of Berrien County. I mean, this has got to be a very loud storm if you're in the Niles, if you're in the New Buffalo area, anywhere between Niles and New Buffalo. That is a lot of lightning strikes. So just within this box, within the past 15, 20 minutes, 264 lightning strikes. Just in that area alone in 15 minutes. Think about that. That is a very loud storm. So for some of us, it's eerily quiet right now as the storm moves in. But again, this is what we're watching fairly closely. The storm now about to move into South Bend. It's on the west side of South Bend, moving towards downtown, knocking on the door of Plymouth. Coomes Lake, currently moving through Walkerton. Heavy rain and lightning, a lot of lightning currently right here through the Buchanan area. I'll go back to that lightning view and I'll show you again the density of lightning strikes in here. So at nothing else, right now it's kind of quiet in South Bend. It won't be. It is very loud in Buchanan. It is very loud in Glean right now, and will soon be very loud in Niles. If at nothing else, a lot of lightning strikes, which can also cause problems as we've seen, often causing fires and sparking other issues as well. Loud storms, what could be destructive storms. Strong wind currently crossing the 31 corridor from South Bend, Lakeville. Next up is Granger, Mishawaka, all the way down towards Wyatt and Bremen. So the 331 corridor, if you live close to 331, Indiana 331 in St. Joseph County, less than 5 minutes. Strong wind gust heading your way, likely some wind and a lot of lightning with this storm as well. It will be moving through as well. If we have any reports from any of our field crews, I'm curious how they are doing, if they're dealing with anything as far as strong wind or heavy rain or lightning at this point. I want to hear information from them. North Liberty, strong wind moving through likely there. Next up is La Paz. Next up is the Wyatt area, so Bremen north towards Wyatt. The South Bend area all kind of encompassing on through here. This is the danger zone. The one thing that I have seen over the past 45 minutes is this area of blue is held together, but it is less intense. Two reasons for that. The storm itself may be weakening. Second reason is we're getting closer to the radar, and this is more of an honest surface estimate, where at 1,000 feet above the ground, that wind speed could be 70 or more miles per hour, where the wind speed close to the surface could be somewhere closer to 60 miles per hour. Just got news that the South Bend Cubs game is wrapped up. That is good news as this storm is currently working its way through. Again, considerable threat for this warning, wind speed up to 70 miles per hour, and this warning continues on. Resetting the situation here at 9:46. Here at 9:46, severe thunderstorm warning continues until 10 o'clock for pretty much all of St. Joseph County, eastern portions of Elkhart County, and on into eastern portions of St. Joseph County and on into Elkhart and portions of Kosciuszko County. So that is the current situation there. Tim Spears, you're monitoring some of the outage numbers we have currently coming in, which is also a verification of the storm's strength. Tim?
Yeah, it's right now in Berrien County, more than 2,700 people without power, according to poweroutage.us. So that's kind of showing the signs of what you've been tracking. In LaPorte County, more than 3,500 right now without power. St. Joseph just at about 500. So still less than we saw during that microburst earlier today. But also I was getting a text from my wife who's on the south side of South Bend. She's starting to hear that wind just coming through the walls at the moment. And hopefully that South Bend Cubs game wrapping up means that they're staying safe, but probably that they're also feeling the conditions at the moment as well. I'm on social media trying to track some of the damage. Right now, no damage at the moment, but that's obviously going to be on a delay. Right now, people just posting lightning. It's been visible as far as Elkhart already. But right now, just kind of still waiting for everything. Our field crews that were in South Bend have been prioritizing positioning in a safe space. We have seen some lightning earlier. If we want to pull that up, that was in Granger looking west. So, and I don't know if you remember earlier this afternoon, I was talking to our photographer, Todd Matting, and we were saying those thunderclaps were louder than anything we had ever heard before. So you could just tell the atmosphere was supercharged. Tom?
Yeah, still getting reports in, and we're starting to get reports out of Greater South Bend and Granger that there are strong wind gusts happening now. Come back to the radar picture. So we're getting verification that the wind is happening. We'll probably get more damage reports as we go over the next 30 minutes or so, as this is kind of an ongoing thing at this moment. The rain is just starting to happen here at the station. We're on the northeast side of South Bend as we watch things fairly closely. But the gust front is just out here on the leading edge of this. So I'm going to point this out again. When we look at the distance, the heaviest rain and all the lightning is kind of behind the wind. The wind leads this by about 5 miles. So again, you can see this is roughly where the storm is, and then the wind is about 5 to 10 miles out in front of it, or that first wind gust. And so first you get a hit of wind, then you start getting the rain and what is a likely loud storm right now. So again, anywhere from 5 to 10 miles leading this storm. So before the lightning gets to you, before the rain gets to you, the wind will hit, and that can cause power outages and more damage. So again, you're on standby currently if you're in Elkhart, if you're in Bristol, if you're in Goshen, if you're in Napa-Nizo. New update to this warning. The good news looks like the update to this warning, I'm going to go back and read this. It looks like we're seeing a reduction of the warning strength of wind gusts down to 60 miles per hour. This is good news. We have witnessed this storm weaken, and so this is the current situation right now. This is no longer warned for wind up to 70 miles per hour. That is good news. So if we advance over here to now to the velocity, we're seeing less of that, less of those bright blues. So this threat now less dangerous than it was earlier. We're going to continue on here on ABC 57. I'll urge us that we will continue as we roll into the CW 25, at least right now. We'll continue with this coverage as we go through 1030, because I think we're going to have to start going into kind of a damage recovery mode as far as what information we get. But the worst of this is starting to at least clear. That is the good news there, is that the worst of this through the North Liberty area. We'll need to start making some calls and kind of confirm LaPorte, New Carlisle, I would say North Liberty, as far as what is happening there. Let's take that live shot outside right now as we see the rain really starting to come down here. Rain is pouring. The trees are moving about, but it looks like the worst of this threat has at least started to calm down, at least for right now. So that is the good news, at least right now, as this has moved through or moving through that. This is kind of the worst that we're seeing, and I'm very thankful for that, because this was looking to be a very dicey situation, at least up to this point. I think we'll stay with this current thing. If we continue on this course, we will roll this wall-to-wall coverage into our 10 o'clock newscast on the CW25, as I kind of direct our crews right now. So we'll come up with a plan as we will transition from wall-to-wall onto CW25 at 10 and discontinue our ABC 57 coverage at this time. Right now, we're on both channels right now on ABC 57 and the CW25 as we head towards 10 o'clock. If this information continues to verify that this line is weakening, we can kind of transition back to a normal newscast as we head into the 10 o'clock hour on the CW25. So again, kind of just directing this as we go forward in time. The new update on this warning is for wind up to 60 miles per hour. We have gone from a very destructive situation, Michigan City, New Buffalo, where we have reports in the Long Beach area that may have been hit fairly hard, to a storm that has fanned out and now weakened as it has moved into St. Joseph County. This is still something not to mess around with. If you're anywhere near this storm in this warmed area, I don't want you outside right now. So this is now South Bend, Lakeville, Plymouth, Bremen on towards the Napanee, Wakarusa area and the city of Elkhart. This is going to take some time, but you can still kind of see a faint echo through here. You can see that little bit of a brightening through there, and that is that gust front. So the leading wind is right on the front edge of this storm, and it's right through here. It has just crossed 331, now moving into Granger. So the heaviest rain is really just about to start, and you can see the orange and the red that is currently ongoing right now here at 9:53. We see the leading edge of this storm, at least right here. Still a warned area for the Indiana 19 corridor, Elkhart down to Wakarusa as we head towards Napanee. But the leading edge, very faintly, you can see that echo right through there. And I'll go back to using our little distance tool here. And so from 31 on, from downtown South Bend on towards 331, that's about 5 miles. The gust front is here. That wind is about 5 miles ahead of the rain. So it's by the time you get to the rain, that worst of that wind is generally over. It leads or proceeds to the storm that is starting to weaken ever so slightly, but there'll be a gust of wind here and that we continue to track this. But currently the situation is now less severe. It is less severe than we had, but we do have reports of hail in some areas. Looking at areas of low visibility because of the heavy rain in South Bend, visibility has dropped to a half mile. So from one threat to another, the rain is here. It's very intense. It has led to the strong wind gusts, and that is our current situation right now. Let's take another live look at the Notre Dame camera looking towards the northeast of the dorms right now. I'll step out of the way, and you can kind of see the deluge that is currently ongoing and happening right now as we continue to watch this. This storm has at times sped up, at times slowed down, and that's where we found a varied our intensity of this storm. Again, the wind up to now is 60 miles per hour on the leading edge. The storm is now moving southeast at 35 miles per hour. So for a period of time it was moving slow, for another period of time it was moving quickly, and now it has slowed down again. That's not surprising, as storms can pulse up and they can pulse down, so they speed up and they slow down, and that's all part of this threat. I'm going to give an updated storm track here as we hear it now, 9:55, and we continue on this evening. So this is the current storm track as we look at Elkhart by 10:02, Napanee by 10:07, Goshen by 10:14, Syracuse, Millersburg by around 10:30, and on towards Warsaw as this continues to go on. So we have pictures of, again, strong wind, some heavy rain going on currently right now, and we're watching everything very closely across areas. The rain continues to come down. The storm has weakened, but it is still a severe thunderstorm for the area. Still watching it again. You see this latest storm track, a severe thunderstorm as it continues to move through. Just setting an update here on our chat and looking for any information from there. But this is the current update as we continue on right now. I'm looking at the velocity because at one point we had a very distinct, big, bright bullseye here, and we're starting to see it. We just had a power flash here at the station, so there still is some strong wind out there that's still blowing some things around. If we've got a picture, we can take that outside shot again. So we're still getting the strong wind. It may not be 70 mile per hour wind, but this is still wind up to about 50 or 60 miles per hour with this storm. So we gave you the first warning. You can see the sheets of rain that are currently coming down right now. And this gives you an estimate of this is what's happening here at our studios. This is a preview of what's likely to be happening on towards the Elkhart area as well. So Elkhart, you're next. You'll be next as this information comes through, giving you, again, the latest information that we have, at least right now, as it moves through. But what you're seeing currently is just a sheet of rain currently falling at our station. Not as much lightning, but the wind picked up with this as well, getting another power flash. So again, we're seeing power flashes here. Looking for here, again, we're still seeing ongoing lightning, wind, and rain. Let's go to that dome camera as well. I want to show as much pictures as we have going on right now of what's happening. You can see the the rain is falling down, but the wind is blowing the rain off the dome. So that's an indication of still how strong that wind is. I'll step on here and you kind of see this kind of blowing away. This is the wind because the storm, I'm in the same direction as the storm at this point of view here. The wind is moving like this, and so it's blowing the rain off the dome right now. And so we have those wind gusts likely up to 60 miles per hour. Still seeing some lights on across South Bend and campus, so we look towards the south. But this is very intense right here. Just a good example of, again, the storm that is currently moving through. We've dropped the severity from 80 miles per hour to 70 to now 60 miles per hour. This is the current warning right here. It still includes all of St. Joseph County and a good chunk of portions of Kosciuszko County as well. I believe we have some more video queued up at this time coming in out of the Granger area from our news director. We want to take that picture. I think it's some Ring doorbell camera. Would like to see that as well, as we have, again, the severe thunderstorm that continues to move through, heavy rain that is currently ongoing. This is the current situation right now. Here we are at 9:59. Here we are at 9:59 this evening, where we'll be starting our 10 o'clock newscast on the CW25 as this severe thunderstorm continues to move in here at 9:59. We're going to continue to track this as we continue on with our 10 o'clock newscast on the CW25. The wind still very powerful as it moves through this evening. If you've been watching us on ABC 57, join us on the CW25 right now.
Now on Night Team, the South Bend Empowerment Zone officially dissolving. After a lasting legacy, what comes next for students and teachers? Plus,
if I would have brought her home like the school counselor suggested, she probably would have went to bed and not woke up.
a Michiana mother outraged and looking for answers after her daughter suffered a fractured skull in what school officials describe as a bump on the head.
And thunderstorms breaking the extreme heat right now, but we can do this all over again tomorrow in the forecast.
Live from ABC 57 studios and broadcast all across Michiana, this is ABC 57 News Night Team.
Deafening thunder brought by a brief microburst in Michiana today. That was earlier, but check out the damage left behind. Trees uprooted, torn down, and power knocked out for thousands in St. Joseph County today. You're on Night Team. I'm Tim Spears, and we're still going through it as we take a live look from on top of the Golden Dome. That sudden thunderstorm this afternoon coming amid record heat today. But now things may cool back down soon. ABC 57 has team coverage for one of the wildest days of weather in recent memory and the damage left behind. Julian Grahowski in South Bend with a look at the impacts of this afternoon's burst that blew through. But first warning, neighborhood chief meteorologist Tom Coomes leads us off.
Yeah, as I talk, I want you to get the outside camera going because I'm hearing what could be hail outside. I don't have a picture of that right now. Good news here at 10 o'clock now on the CW25, there are no longer any severe thunderstorm warnings happening at this moment. Can we take that outside camera view and see what we can see? We can see definitely the heavy rain falling. It is very intense, and there may be some hail mixed in here. I can kind of hear some pinging on the roof right now. I'm not seeing it very distinctive in this picture, but the rain is currently just pouring at this morning. This evening, there is a downpour ongoing. The good news at this time is the danger appears to have passed. There are no active warnings currently on the radar picture. We're still seeing the leading edge of this: Elkhart, Napanee, Warsaw, and Goshen. You're next. Wind gusts could still be topping 50 or up to 60 miles per hour, but currently no active warning for this area. So the storm has weakened. It's still pretty loud out there, I'm going to be honest with you, and there still is some strong-ish wind. But the radar picture has definitely changed here, and we're looking at the estimates as far as that wind speed goes. Wind up to, at the top end, 60 miles per hour. We're not hearing or getting a lot of confirmed reports of anything in excess of that. So that is the good news. Currently, no active warning on our map this evening. This is the current radar picture. Heavy rain is happening. This will also break the heat, but stand by if you're in Plymouth, the Warsaw area, in Goshen. We'll talk more about that heat breaking and the mugginess that actually continues the rest of this week coming up in the forecast. Tim?
We've been going through it today, Tom.
It's keeps you on your toes, right?
All right, appreciate you keeping us safe. From a scorcher to a storm, today's record-breaking heat making for some whirlwind weather for folks trying to enjoy the final days of summer. ABC 57's Julian Grahowski continues our team coverage near the intersection of Ironwood and State Road 23, where the storms earlier today caused power outages, stopping traffic.
It's all fixed now, but earlier traffic was backed up for blocks here at this intersection when stoplights went out. But before those storms, I caught up with people out and about in South Bend to see how they were soaking in the record heat. South Bend's Howard Park bone dry Tuesday. The record heat keeping most people indoors in the AC, but a handful flocking to the splash pad for a cool down, like mother-daughter duo Brooklyn and Brittany.
I love the splash pad. It's my favorite.
Now, we all know the splash pad is the place to be on days like today just because the water feels so nice, but it can actually be a safer place to be. So I'm going to use our heat gun and compare the surface temperatures between the dry, hot pavement versus the wet pavement here at the splash pad. So let's start by reading this one. 114. Okay, so anywhere near the 115 range. And to put it into perspective, human skin can get a first-degree burn at a surface temperature of 118, so very hot pavement right here. Again, 113. Now let's compare to the wet pavement here at the splash pad. All right, I'm getting a reading of 98, so that's a good almost 15-degree difference.
From going to the water and getting in it is a totally different. It's like you have to hurry up and put your feet in or they'll burn.
But then, not even an hour later, the weather took a turn. We went from having to worry about heat and surface temperatures to storm damage. Just take a look at this completely uprooted tree here behind me off Clover Trail. Powerful pop-up storms running through St. Joe County, knocking down and uprooting several trees. Power outages at busy intersections like Ironwood and State Road 23, causing major traffic backups during rush hour. And local businesses losing power, having to close early for the day. And local power companies say they're working hard to make sure everyone affected by Tuesday storms will be back with power soon. Reporting from South Bend, Julian Grahowski, ABC 57 News.
And now here's a live look at current conditions. This is in South Bend, where we're actually right outside the ABC 57 News studio. We're hearing the rain coming from on top of our station. We've even heard little pings of hail, though it's hard to make out in that torrential rain. Also taking a look at the current power outage numbers, more than 5,000 reported without power in Berrien County, more than 4,000 in LaPorte County. New on Night Team, the South Bend Empowerment Zone Board holds a final wrap-up tonight, officially dissolving the district's first academic intervention. Now, the South Bend Community School Corporation is guiding students and teachers transition back into South Bend schools as the academic year begins. ABC 57's Blake Parker joins us from outside the school corporation headquarters after hearing how administrators are adjusting.
At Tuesday's meeting, the Empowerment Zone's Board of Directors said the transition to South Bend's Community School Corporation began when class started on August 15th. And so far, it's gone well, but they say there's still work to be done.
But we would tell you it's not a finished product yet. There's still a lot of work to be done, that even though the Empowerment Zone has dissolved, nothing more critical than this work that's happening in those classrooms right now.
In an effort to realign students, and due to a lack of funds, the South Bend School Board voted back in July to dissolve the Empowerment Zone program. When it began in 2019, the vision was to eliminate the academic, social, and emotional opportunity gaps in 4 schools that were struggling, working to improve test scores and graduation rates. Empowerment Zone Board Chair Sam Centellas says they did see improvements, causing the school corporation to adopt some of these successful policies and programs for all South Bend students.
But we piloted some ways that we could try to create targeted student intervention based on individual student needs, based on their diagnostic. And so that is one of the things that the entire school corporation is doing now, and that ultimately will transition to the next tool as they continue to develop those tools better.
Empowerment Zone board member Jeff Ray explained the zone was expected to last until the end of the 2026 school year, but lost 2 critical funding sources.
We really can't offer the uniqueness that we'd had without those dollars to give us some smaller classrooms, to give us some more classroom aids, to give us some new curriculum or some other things and stuff. So we all of us kind of made